General of the Army Douglas MacArthur is the most visibly recognized graduate at West Point, where his legacy continues to flourish. The historic Thayer Hotel on campus features the MacArthur Restaurant, which is filled with photos and paintings of the general throughout his distinguished career. The Academy also has a statue of MacArthur, surrounded by a monument inscribed with his more notable statements. Other MacArthur photos and materials are on display in buildings and facilities throughout the extensive West Point grounds. In the deadly trenches of World War I, MacArthur wore a West Point sweater over his uniform while leading countless dangerous night raids into no man's land. He religiously followed the progress and scores of the Army football program while stationed at command posts all around the globe, and even designated a signatory pin from the formal Japanese surrender in World War II to the care of his alma mater. His final and enduring public speech was delivered to the cadets at West Point in 1962, an epic farewell address heralding the Academy's enduring motto of duty, honor, country. The story of Douglas MacArthur and West Point, however, began here in the city of Milwaukee. A competitive examination was held for a West Point vacancy in spring of 1898 for Milwaukee Congressman Theobald Achen's 4th Congressional District. The congressman appointed 3 Milwaukee school principals to supervise the exam, which was to be held in Milwaukee City Hall. MacArthur's mother, Pinky, retained Principal Mac McLanigan of Westside High School to tutor her son. The Milwaukee Journal on 7 June 1898 announced the exam results with the headline in large font, "He will go to West Point." MacArthur placed first among 13 applicants with a score of 99% to the next man's 77.9%. While a cadet at West Point, MacArthur distinguished himself in college athletics, football manager, left fielder of the baseball team, and in military leadership. He was the first captain of the Corps of Cadets, and in academics, graduating first in his class in 1903. 16 years after graduation, and just after the First World War end, morale was low at West Point, and the program was in chaos as a result of the accelerated wartime graduations. In 1919, General MacArthur, returning home as one of the most highly decorated American officers in World War I, was chosen to be the new superintendent. MacArthur pursued a strong reform agenda and faced an even stronger opposition from most of the old guard faculty. However, MacArthur prevailed, expanding the course offerings to include government, economics, psychology, and sociology. He also invited General Billy Mitchell to lecture on air warfare and encouraged cadets to take an interest in mechanics. He replaced old Civil War maps with those of World War I and the Far East. MacArthur updated West Point's traditional academic program, adapting it to the new technology and challenges of the 20th century. But he also advanced his great love of sport. In recognition of the intense physical demands of modern warfare, MacArthur established an intramural athletics program and made participation compulsory, with every company in the Corps fielding teams in multiple sports. This MacArthur-initiated program continues today and is called Company Sports. 2 lines of verse chiseled over the entrance to the gymnasium continue today. On the fields of friendly strife are sown the seeds that upon other fields and other days will bear the fruits of victory. In the years following his term as superintendent, MacArthur's passionate connection to the plain of West Point was expressed most clearly in his love of Army football. He was overjoyed when the Black Knights of the Hudson, coached by Earl H. Red Blake, with legendary running backs Glenn Davis and Doc Blanchard, won the National College Football Championships in 1944 and 1945. The final and most memorable goodbye of General MacArthur occurred at West Point on May 12, 1962, when MacArthur received the Sylvanus Thayer Award, the highest honor the Association of Graduates can bestow on an individual. That day, he reviewed the Corps of Cadets, had lunch with them, and then addressed the cadets about the motto of West Point, duty, honor, country. He then closed with a passage that no one there would ever forget.
The shadows are lengthening for me. The twilight is here. My days of old have vanished, tone and tint. They have gone glimmering through the dreams of things that were. Their memory is one of wondrous beauty, watered by tears and coaxed and caressed by the smiles of yesterday. I listen vainly, but with thirsty ear, for the witching melody of faint bugles blowing reveille, of far drums beating the long roll. In my dreams, I hear again the crash of guns, the rattle of musketry, the strange, mournful mutter of the battlefield. But in the evening of my memory, always I come back to West Point. Always there echoes and re-echoes duty, honor, country. Today marks my final roll call with you. But I want you to know that when I cross the river, my last conscious thoughts will be of the Corps and the Corps and the Corps. I bid you farewell.
On January 26, 1964, a group of cadets from West Point visited the general on his 84th and final birthday at his residence in the Waldorf Astoria, New York City. The cadets were reviewed in uniform by the general and sang traditional songs, which pleased him greatly. When MacArthur died on 5 April 1964, one of those cadets, John Putnam Otchin, great-grandson of Milwaukee Congressman Theobald Otchin, carried the general's 5-star flag in the honor procession and at the final funeral services in Norfolk, Virginia. 15 years later, then Lieutenant Colonel John P. Otchin was the escort to General MacArthur's widow, Jean Fairclough MacArthur, when she came to Milwaukee in June 1979 for the first MacArthur Memorial Week, which included dedication of the statue of General MacArthur in MacArthur Square. In 2014, then himself a retired general, John Otchin returned to Milwaukee for the second MacArthur Memorial Week and gave an extensive presentation honoring Jean Fairclough MacArthur and the women in the U.S. military. On April 26, 2017, Otchin traveled home once more for the dedication ceremony of this permanent MacArthur exhibit in the Milwaukee County War Memorial Center.